Hello?
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
Good.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo, how you doing?
I'm doing very fine. How about you?
I'm doing good. So you play Jett and Reyna, right? Or is it like Reyna and Jett? Do you play one more than the other?
I mostly play Jett because I like to op.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I can teach you how to op a little, or whatever else I see with your gameplay. Yeah, you want to play a game?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So is your highest rank gold 2?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you play aim lab or anything?
Yeah, I play a bit of it. Used to play a lot, but not anymore.
Okay. The thing I usually tell most people is just like 10 minutes before you play is like perfect. If you want to play more than that, you can, but if you play 10 minutes before you play each time, sometimes it can feel like a pain because you don't really want to or whatever, but
Yeah.
if you get in the habit of doing it, it's like really, really good for your aim, and just that alone can carry you up to like plat or even higher sometimes. So,
I have a really bad PC, so like I'll be getting like 15 FPS on it.
oh,
That's
that's
why I don't
unfortunate.
really do much.
Wait, will you be able to stream for me, or will that lag you too much?
I don't think would, but it's just like I don't think my Discord screen share is working for some
Are you in a game
reason.
yet?
No, I'm in the lobby.
Okay. If you can't get it to work, I can just screen share you like a couple maps or something for like a little less than an hour maybe. Or you can try to figure out see if it works.
All right, let me try. Does it work?
It's showing up. It says you got 15 FPS, but it's not. I can't see it yet. It's loading. It says. Are you tabbed into Valorant? Or are you tabbed into Valorant? Oh. Some technical difficulties, but we'll get it in a second. Yo.
Okay. Yeah, I think my TV just crashes every time I screen share for some reason. Like
Okay.
I have to reset my audio and everything.
Would you be okay with me showing you maybe some like op spots on certain maps for now, or
Yeah,
um?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So what
I just
what
need
kind
to
of
work.
maps would you like? Which maps would you like to look at, or which one first, I guess?
Let's do Haven.
Haven.
Haven
Okay,
looks
that's
easy.
sick. Yeah, that's a really good map.
Can't really op on that map except for C long.
Yeah. So opping on Haven is unique because like, if you think about Haven, it's the only map that has 3 sites, which actually makes it even better for opping. Um, because it gives you more chances to like predict where they're gonna peek from, because they can peek from more places. So let me screen share.
My issue is just like I get flanked every time I op on Haven because
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm seeing like Heaven or something, I get flanked from behind from B or something.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It usually that's a problem if your team isn't playing kind of like what they should be, which obviously will probably happen a lot in gold. So that's just something you have to be prepared for, be aware of. Are you able to see?
Yeah, I can see it perfectly.
Okay. So you said you can op C long. We'll start at C and then work our way over to A. I'll show you like the main spots you want to be opping from, and then like other additional spots you could op from that maybe is like more of a situational place to op from.
My ult's ready.
How do you get like good positioning in this game? That's
Good what?
you know, positioning.
Positioning.
Yeah.
That's just gonna come from experience. I can show you some good positionings, like good, not positioning, but good spots. Positioning is like a combination of multiple things. So like where like how basically like how you're positioning yourself depending on where they're pushing from matters. Like what weapon you're using, what abilities you have, what agent you're playing. Like all these things matter for how you're positioning. So if you're opping C long, where would you normally hold this angle from? Like right here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is perfectly fine. So another variation of this that a lot of Jett players do is like this. And this is just
Yeah, I
because,
also use that sometimes.
yeah, so if you use both of these, that's perfect. So you say you get flanked a lot. I'm guessing sometimes you probably die from garage or maybe even sometimes from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Usually
basically,
garage.
yeah, garage, what you have to do is if you're alone all the way here and you have no teammate over here watching garage, what you have to do is just, so this is where positioning matters because what you want to do is probably ask your teammate to come watch it, but what you can do is come back here and position yourself in a place like this if you think they're going to push garage. But you do have to be aware of both long and garage if your team is not helping you watch either of them. So, but for upping C long, this angle is fine here. This is fine up here. A good rule of thumb for opping is that you want to watch an angle that is like closest to where they spawn. So you see the barrier right here.
Here.
If they peek,
Yeah.
they'll peek within like 2 or 3 seconds, and I'm sure you know that. So this is like why you hold this angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep in mind like that they could push garage. Generally, it's not really that great to op garage. You can, but it's kind of weird because you just have this little crack right here, and it's kind of hard. They can also peek from like
Here.
down here or back here, so it's kind of weird. I would suggest not really doing that. You can opt from back here toward garage, but yeah. So
Isn't
do you
it
ever?
really dangerous to sit in like that corner though?
Isn't it really what? Oh, back there in back plot.
Yeah, because if they push you, like you have to dash, and they they can catch you off guard if you dash.
Yeah, you're right. It is dangerous. But also, um, you don't. I mean, you don't have to sit there, but it's just an option, I guess. So the reason I wouldn't want to sit up here to hold C long is because if they're gonna push from garage, most of the time, I'm guessing whenever you get flanked on this map, it's not like always. It's just some of the time. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, this is just somewhere. Yeah, this isn't the best place to play if you're opping, but this is fine to do like this if you want to. Because like if you up from the same spot every single round, obviously they're gonna start. That's one thing you have to take into mind. Whenever you op, do you op the same place multiple rounds in a row?
No. Sometimes I'll up like above the boxes in that left corner,
Okay,
on the right corner.
over here.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite spots actually. So this is good to hold here from, but like you said, you can get trapped here if they push out long.
Yeah, I usually hold garage from there.
Yeah, so you say you don't play these spots very much, or you don't play one single spot multiple rounds in a row, which is very good, but also you want to make sure you don't play the same site multiple rounds in a row. So if you're playing C like 2 rounds in and they come C 1 round and you get a few kills, then you're going to want to rotate as Jett. Because if you're opping, if you think about whenever you play against an op, you really don't want to go to wherever the op is. You try to avoid it. So you want to use that to your advantage and try to predict where they're going to go the round after you kill some with an op. So do you ever opt from B?
Yeah. Usually, like I'll probably do it 3 times a game,
Okay,
but I'll only hold it from like above the boxes.
so like right here, or
Yeah.
okay, this is you would probably want to hold right here, but also, so if you think about where they can come from, the barrier's right here, and the barrier's like here somewhere. I think it's right
Here.
there actually. So they can peek you right here. If they don't peek you within like 5 or 10 seconds, or probably play say like 5 seconds,
Here.
they can peek from right here. So you have to shift your attention to like right here, like this, and you can hold like this. And just kind of alternate between the two. And if you're soloing B, you probably want to just continue to hold this, but this gives you full control of mid. So see how I'm holding this? Whenever I'm holding this, I don't have vision of this, so I can't get peeked by both of them. And then
Oh.
whenever I'm here, I'm holding this, so I can't be peeked from window, so that I'm not, in danger of both of them. So this way you can easily kill this because you're just getting a one-shot kill. And so yeah, instead of sitting like this, because obviously this is if you're holding like this and they peek down here, you're just probably gonna die because they have the jump on you. So
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
there's nothing wrong with upping right here. I think up here is best for the most part, but there's also nothing really wrong with this. This is just good. You know how you said you sometimes split here, but you also go like here or up here on the boxes. These
Yeah.
two can just be like variations of playing up here, so you can just kind of swap around however you like. I don't think this is very useful. Yeah, this isn't very useful. This could be useful for holding window. Not so much
Yeah.
for down there, but
I don't really use that though.
yeah, I don't either. It's just I'm just looking at everything. So any questions here so far?
Oh no.
Okay, so yes, also again, after you get some kills B, you might want to rotate to A, because people like to avoid the op, keeping that in mind always. Best place you can op from here, actually, opping from short and opping from long are equally quite good. So people do like to opt from long a lot.
Yeah, that's what I usually op at if I'm holding at A.
Do you hold the angle like this, or do you move in a slightly different spot?
Usually I'll hold it either like kind of really tight, or
Like
I'll hold
like
it near
this,
like or near like stone.
over here?
Yeah, the boxes, I guess, whatever you call it.
Yeah, this is I think this is the best way to do it, is kind of like, because you don't want to be out in the middle, obviously, because if you
Yeah, you
miss,
can't really fall back.
yeah. And this is good, but it's hard kind of hit the shot. So what you want to do, in my opinion, is come out like this, because then you're close to this and you can just peek behind, or you can dash out and you're completely safe. And this just gives you the easiest shot. So because they're gonna be coming out
Here.
usually like this or toward
Here.
this way, so they'll just go right into your crosshair. Whereas this is dangerous because it's out in the open, and this is just a harder shot to hit for that you don't need to allow yourself to do that. But yeah, so there's that. You can play Heaven with the op, but again, that's a little bit more passive. This strat,
It's really risky though, because
yeah,
I
it
think
is
it's
very good if they're like hard pushing and you can't peek from there. But at the beginning of the round, you want to peek
Here.
from here, or you can go sewer like this. Do you ever do this?
like probably I'll do it third round if I buy up third round, but it's really risky.
Yeah, it is a little
Usually they
risky.
just sit back there with like a vandal, and I'll just get one tap.
That is true, yeah. There's also a play you could do with knives, because one taps, I guess. But I would suggest experimenting with this op spot a little bit, just because it's a lot of people in gold probably won't expect this, even though some people will. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
usually play flats since I have like a bit of higher armor, so if I pick that up, see like maybe 3 or 4 people hold that,
yeah.
then I'll get screwed.
Yeah, sometimes if it doesn't work in one game, you don't have to do it again that game, but in some games you'll be able to catch people multiple times from that spot. People won't even realize what's happening. And again, so if you can't peek either of those, then either go there and go up heaven, or you can like this is a good spot you can updraft from. And then you can hold long or short. Just be careful you can't be spammed. I don't like to sit too close here because you get spammed, so I play back like this, and then
Yeah.
and again don't sit out in the middle so you're exposed to both. Try to minimize it to one angle. And
Alright.
yeah, that's pretty much it for like opping. You want to talk about opping on attack, or do you not op much on attack?
Yeah, I up a lot on attack. Just it's really risky, so I do it a couple of times a game.
Yeah, so the thing with opping on attack, it's a little harder for obvious reasons, but mainly because you're not holding an angle, you have to peek an angle. So what you see a lot of people do, like really good sniper players with like the Marshall or with the op, they just kind of like just peek into it like this, because it's a little harder for this person here to hit you while you're jumping, because it's not what most people do. And by the time you land, it's a free shot. But also, you can just wait for like a Sova drone if you ask your Sova to drone. Um, this is
Is jump shotting really good, or
um,
really
this is
just
like it's not necessarily really good, but it can be good in certain situations. Like I would consider jump peeking like this kind of good, because if you just walk out like this, you're probably just gonna get one tapped, like some of the time, most of the time anyway. Um, so yeah, they could be here, 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 here.
where would
Jump.
you hold
Hmm?
first? Like Okay, let's say you're peeking that. Where would you first hold an op?
If I wasn't gonna, I don't usually do the jump thing, so I would go like this. You see plat, because this is the first thing that you're exposed to, right? This is the first place they can be. Then they can be right here. Then they can be right here, and they can be up here. So just kind of do it in order. This is this case for like any place you peek. So right here, here. And keep in mind they can also be, they can peek you from close, and they can already be in this corner technically. So if you're alone, it's a little dangerous. So that corner you should always clear. But yeah, there's a difference between jump peeking. I wouldn't always jump peek. It's not really the best thing in the world to do, but there's a difference between that and then jump peeking like this. And this is very good. Jump peeking is very good. Do you know what jiggle peeking is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like jiggle peeking except with jumping. And it's very good whenever you don't really care about if the enemy knows where your position is, because obviously when you jump, you make a lot of noise.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of useful though. Also, you can come over here and hold like this or something, but again, all you need to... Go ahead.
If you were pushing up.
If I was pushing up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So, basically, your number one goal for opping on attack is to get a kill. So, you can't... It's kind of hard to push a side alone with an op, right? Like, it's not really ideal. So, I wouldn't suggest pushing, like, up here alone. If you're gonna push up, try to do it behind some teammates. Or if you're gonna do it, have knives as well, because then you can obviously play a little more aggressive. But yeah, try not to go in first. If you get the kill, tell your team to come see. Like, your main job is, you don't really want to go past like here. You want to just sit here, see if they give you a kill, if they peek you, because you peek from here and here with an op. Someone might peek you with a vandal or with whatever other weapon. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to try to get the kill here. And if you get the kill, then it's your team's job to push in, or you push in with knives. So I wouldn't push in with an op to answer your question.
Okay, alright.
To op for mid, it's kind of hard, honestly. I would just stay away from garage if you're opping. You can try to do this play, but again, it's weird, and they can also peek you from right here. So this is just awkward. If you're gonna go there, just go with knives or a different weapon.
Oh, they can pick you from there?
Yes, I've died from there so many times. So like,
people don't really push that up.
yeah, so use this to your advantage whenever if you have knives. A play I like to do is just like this. And then right here, you often see people's heads, and they'll be looking at garage. They won't even think you can see them. So, but do be aware of that. As you rank up, people will begin to shoot you from there. Good duelists do that. So,
Alright.
yeah. So you can opt from window. From here. This is fine. This is a common place to hold, because this is mainly good to hold if you know enemies like to push out a garage, like they've done it in the past few rounds or whatever. So you can hold like this, but again, your main job is to get a kill on attack, just to wait for them to peek you pretty much. Again, so I'm peeking, if you're asking what order I want to peek in, I'm going to make sure they're not in cubby, and then slowly peek, make sure they're not up top. And then at this point, you can kind of cross to the left and just kind of wait to see if they're going to peek you. You can put your crosshair in the middle, because they can technically peek you from either side. But if you expect one to peek from one side more than the other, you can place your crosshair toward that side. It all really depends on the game, against the enemy team that you're playing, and like how they've been playing in the past rounds. So if they're more aggressive than average, then maybe hold the garage door, because that's a pretty aggressive play that not many people do. That maybe a more aggressive team would do.
Alright, okay, let's say you're holding like an angle or something, and no one peeks it within like the first 5 to 10 seconds. Would you continue holding it, or would you just go somewhere else and hold it different?
So for this case, only if the enemy team I think is aggressive or is likely to push out from here, I would hold it for like 5 to 10 seconds, like you say. And if nobody peeks within that time frame, I'm just gonna assume that nobody's going to peek, even though sometimes that assumption might be wrong. And then after the 10th second, on the 11th second, someone peeks and you die, and it's really frustrating. But that is unlikely for the most part. So after the 10 seconds, what I would do is begin to start clearing this, just like that. But sometimes you only have to hold this. If you're playing against a passive team, you don't have to bother holding this. But if you're holding an angle for like 20-30 seconds, you're probably holding it for too long. Just as like a rule of thumb, unless you're on defense and the enemy team has made no noise whatsoever. That's the only scenario where you want to hold an angle for more than like 30 seconds. And sometimes patience is important, but on attack, not so much. So for here, the reason that opping is hard, because if the enemy team gives you no picks like this, and you're sitting here waiting, then you're gonna have to push into a site with your op, and that's gonna be tough, potentially. So
Is it common for like, so in my games, there's a lot of like sages that will
wall
usually
B.
wall up behind,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
go up above B. Is that
Like
common
back
in,
here.
Here.
yeah, in high ranks?
Sometimes not really like super common, but it's something that Sage can do, so it's something that Sages will do. Why am I knifing? I'm not
Don't
even
worry
knifing.
about it, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing, only if, first of all, the enemy team has to have a Sage, so if the enemy team doesn't have a Sage, don't worry about it, but you should worry about Jets being up here, or like Raises, or whoever else can get up here. But Sage, I wouldn't worry about that specifically, because that's kind of just a really like niche thing. So yeah, don't worry about that, but do, whenever you're peeking this, do look up here like this to make sure that, you know, there's not like a Jett, another enemy Jett up there. So for A, you know, like how we said, sometimes you like to peek short here.
Here.
So this is the counter to that essentially. You can op here, or you can use knives. The opping is, this is really strong because people actually, this is a pretty common place to peek. So once someone
Yeah,
peeks, free
yeah.
kill. Yeah, like you'll see their head in the top of their chest right here. And again, after like 10, 15 seconds maybe, begin to kind of walk up. At this point, if none of your team is A, they can be
Here.
pushed up here. They can be here,
Here.
here. Never obviously really want to go short with an op. So your goal is to just get control and get over to here
On
into
my
this
way.
corner, so you can op on these angles.
Yeah.
So at this point, you can jiggle, you can like try to jump peek, see if someone shoots, like see if you can bait out an op shot, and then begin to start slowly clearing this. Hopefully your team's like kind of here, so you don't really have to clear this with an op. And then if you have knives, great, you can move up with knives. Otherwise, hopefully your team's there to push with you. So here they can be close to right, but the most common spot people are going to peek from will be right
Here.
back here. So you can expect that, but also they can be heaven technically. So again, you're just waiting to get a kill so your team can push the site together. And that's the difference between opping on defense and opping on attack. Attack, you want to just try to get a kill. And if you get a kill, your job's really, you've done a good job for the round because you're opening up space. So by defending, you can just sit somewhere, and it's all about predicting before the round starts where they're gonna go. So if you notice yourself sitting at one site and you're not getting much action, just try to predict where they're going a little more efficiently.
Okay, alright. What would you play if you were, okay, so if you're planting, if you're playing for a bomb and you plant it, where would you hold?
For like any one of these sites.
Yeah.
So for long, are you saying if your team plants it, or
Yeah.
if you plant it?
If you have bomb planted, where would you hold?
So assuming this is planted for long, hopefully, you know, they'd want to plant
Here.
like right here or like right here somewhere. Because if they plant over there, you can't really see it from back here. So it does depend on that, but you can hold, if you're opping, you can hold like this from here. This is actually completely fine. Remember, you have to watch, be careful of flank. Hopefully you have a sentinel doing that, but you can just hold like this. You can also hold over here or close. It depends kind of where the bomb is specifically. Like if it's
Here.
there, you probably won't hold here, but they can peek close right here, so you have to be ready for that. Another thing you see a lot of people do is hold just like this, and then take cover back into here, and you have your smokes and dash to play with, and if you have knives, you can dash into the smoke forward to help defend the spike. But basically, if you're opping, you really kind of want to play long. You don't really want to play site because people can come out from garage and from CT. So only really want to play site if you have a phantom or a different rifle, or like a closer
Yeah,
range weapon.
playing it long because usually they'll just smoke it off or something.
Yeah, that's true actually. So what you can do, in that case is have your team ping it and hope that you can hit a shot through the smoke. Or you can walk up into the smoke and just kind of like sacrifice yourself for the spike planter, but obviously these options are not very consistent and they won't always work, so I'm not sure honestly. Again, if you have,
hold on site.
what'd you say?
If you had to hold it on site, where would you hold?
Um,
Sometimes I like to hold on site.
yeah, so like I said, they can come from here or here, so you want to hold these two things if you are gonna hold from site. So hopefully, it depends on how many people you have on your team left alive, but you can hold like this and just kind of wait, because this is a pretty good angle. If, say you have someone, a teammate, like, pushed up to here or something, just holding it, you can, this is actually not good. Just, you can hold, like, back here. Sitting up here is fine, as long as you have CT control or CT smoked. You can sit like this. You can also up like this, or from back here. I wouldn't sit this, because this is just super vulnerable from here, and from long.
Here.
So, yeah, you can play on site if you just have to kind of teach yourself. Because if you do get smoked, some games enemy won't smoke very much at all, so. But good players will smoke, you're right on that, for sure. Obviously this is different for every map, so, or every site, and every map. So like for here, this will be planted somewhere here. In this case, you can up like this if this is smoked. But there's always the risk that they can jump out of heaven.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's also good to up over here, cause you can see you have direct vision of the spike, but they can walk up close to you,
Here.
and they get peek from heaven. So you don't also really want to peek too aggressively whenever the spike's down and you're defending it, cause your main objective then is to just win the round. So if you die too early before the spike blows up, then you're kind of hurting that objective just a little bit. So yeah,
Alright, that makes sense.
yeah. Any other questions about Haven?
No, not really.
Okay, you want to go ahead and go to one more map?
Alright,
Okay, what map do you want to do?
let's do fine.
Bind? Okay, perfect. Bind's one of my favorite maps for sure.
Yeah, same.
Bind's also very good for Jett, for Oping.
It's good for knives. Since you can just right click them.
Yeah,
If they're trying to get a kill with them.
yeah. So you're gonna notice a few things I tell you here are they're gonna be similar to what I showed you on Bind, because like you're basically playing the same rules except just a different map. So it's a little different, but it's kind of the same thing. Attacking, your main objective is still just to get a kill. And
My ult's ready.
once that resonates with you, that you just need to get a kill and attack, it's gonna become very easy. But first we'll start on defense. We'll go to A. So I'm guessing you're mainly gonna be opping towards short whenever you play Jett.
Yeah, I like to sit above, like, sit
Here.
there or above the boxes.
Up here?
Here.
Or up here?
No, right above you. Yeah, right.
Did you know you could
Here.
go up here without updrafting?
Now,
Okay, so you can go up here and then... So that's maybe something worth practicing because you spare like 150 credits. But yeah, so this is where I sit as well. This is really good. Also they can come from right here, which is kind of scary sometimes. So if you don't land the shot, either way, after you take the shot, you either dash here or over here. Probably back toward this way is optimal. So like you take the shot, and then you come back here, and now this puts you in a really favorable position to continue opping. But you do have to be careful of showers that they're not peeking you from there. So, you can also opt from like right here, swap it up a little bit. Again, this is just like swapping it up. You can opt here if they peek from this side more often for whatever reason, which is rare, but peeking from here is more common. So, again, would you say you almost always opt short to start or not?
yeah, I'll usually opt short if I'm playing A.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to do. To opt their short first, I mean.
Well, people just
Yeah, exactly. So, but also if you are upping short, you kill one or two or more. Like I said last game or last map, people will naturally want to avoid the op, so they're gonna not go there next time. They're likely gonna go B, but I will show you how to op here. You can op here sometimes if you think they're gonna not peek from short and that they will peek here. I like to hold it like this personally, just because this is
Yeah.
the like best angle. Like this is just
Here.
like it's just the deepest you can see, pretty much. I guess I don't know how to explain it, but as tight as you want to hold or as you can hold while still hitting the shot. So you go there. If I would go to shower if you've already opt A and then you go B and then you come back to A. Because if you go A again and they know you're still opting, they're gonna expect you to opt short again, and they're gonna send a couple people towards showers to like lurk or something. So that's when you'd want to do that. Um, Also you can opt from heaven, of course.
Yeah, that's a really good spot.
Yeah, very good.
Good.
Very good. It's just good for all this, holding all this, mainly for short here, because you're tucked away, very safe, and should allow you to get the kills for free.
How do you play retake with an op? 'Cause that's the one thing I struggle with.
So if you're retaking A, you have two options. Like whenever you're always retaking, you can go here or you can go heaven. Um, so again, basically retaking is basically the same thing as attacking, except your end objective is to defuse the bomb instead of getting it to blow up. So like I said, whenever you attack, you want to try to get a kill. If you can get one pick, that's very good. So see if someone's peeking you from here, see if someone's peeking from here. If not, they could be close. I'd probably go heaven if I'm opping, just because, like I said, this angle's really good. This angle's good. You see, peek here, see if there's someone peeking you from bench, see if someone's shower, see if they're close, triple. They could be here. You can shoot through this box, see if you can get one.
Here.
It's kind of hard to get a good shot on, but you might get a lucky kill. And then see if they're short. And then you can actually get this angle onto here. If you wait for like 10 seconds and no one's peeked you, you're gonna have to start aggressing a little bit because you have to retake. And then you see there's someone here. There's always the risk of someone being underneath. But once you drop, someone will likely peek you. But at this point, it's just all about playing, like positioning yourself in spots where where you're not like super exposed. Because obviously, it's not really comfortable to retake with an op. So it's not always a bad idea to buy like a sheriff. It's if you want to just kind of, instead of, I don't know. You can also always save the op if it's like obviously an unfavorable retake. That's probably the best thing to do because the op's quite expensive. But does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so opping B, which you op long probably, I'd guess more.
Oh yeah. Usually I'll just sit behind crates and hold hookah.
Okay,
Hold
yeah,
long if I want to.
like this kind of.
Yeah. Or above the boxes usually. And then I just dash back into
Above the
elbows.
boxes, here?
Here.
Yeah.
We mean like you set up
What?
here?
No, no. No, I hold that.
Oh, okay.
Sit above crates.
Yeah, this is fine. One thing I'll say about this is that this angle's a little bit passive. So the one thing, if you want to play really like the opposite of that spot is peeking up here. And obviously this is a little aggressive, or quite aggressive, but this,
Really risky.
if you have, it is a little risky, but remember you have dash, so it depends again on the enemy team you're playing against. If they pre-fire this, they spam this
Here.
wall, then you don't really want to do this, but if they always walk up, sometimes people, you'd be surprised, they
Here.
walk up here with their knives out, and it's just a free kill, you dash out. But the perfect balance of this
Here.
one and this one is right here. This spot is god tier. You see players like Wardell use this spot, and this is probably the best angle you can hold to hold hookah with an op. Just because A, people don't really expect it, especially in lower ranks, and B, this is just gets full control of hookah. So I would suggest using this one. What were you gonna say?
I've never seen anyone actually use that spot.
Yeah, I would just experiment with it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But also backside, it's not bad. I'm just
Here.
saying it's like basically if you sit backside, think about it. You're kind of letting them. You let them into at least like here
Here.
without really being able to see them. So you give them some amount of hookah control, whereas up here, you don't let them get any of that. And of course, if you kill one and there's more, you can always just dash out, run back, and you're completely safe. And now you're in this position again, and it's the same thing. So, except you have one potential more kill than you did otherwise. So long, a little more straightforward, I would say. You hold like this, or do you walk out over here sometimes, maybe?
I'll walk out.
Like this, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, so would you place your crosshair here, or like up here?
I'll do it up.
Up here?
Easier for me to flick down and up, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I've talked to people that place it like directly in the middle, because it's an equal distance either way. But this is also fine. So, yeah. Um, that's good. It is a little risky to walk out, obviously, but you do have dash, so you can also just up it like this and place your crosshair up or in the middle, however you prefer. Flick down, that's fine. That's pretty much all there is to that.
Hold elbow.
Yeah, this is fine as well. This is a little, again, passive, but this is fine if you want to retake. If you want to retake, you can kind of peek here. Peek here. And yeah. Do you have any questions about B?
No, not really.
Okay. We could talk about attacking. So again, attacking, you're playing... Actually, let's go over to A first, because where we started. So, shower, this is the same thing. You just kind of come over and wait to see if someone wants to peek from here. And you just hold it and see if they peek within 10 or 15 seconds. Normally, you don't want to push shower unless...
Help.
Especially with an op, you don't want to push it. It's really awkward to come out from right here, and there's so many corners they can be in. So definitely wouldn't suggest doing that, but yeah. But this is an angle you can hold, so. Also, you can hold right here, because you know how people like to go to this corner sometimes?
Here.
Yeah.
You can hold like this at the start of the round, and that's a free potential pick. Also, just kind of peeking like this, see if they're here. Also, remember, you like to play up here, so they could be up there, here. Or if you start over here, the first angle that it's going to be is here, and then up there. And again, looking just for the first kill. And then over to B. It's the same thing, except right here. You can hold over here and just kind of wait. And all the same rules apply. And then here, people definitely like to opt from right here, so get ready for that. If you find it easier peeking farther away or closer, it's up to you. Either way. But as for aggressing with the op, it's just harder, so for that reason, I don't op a super large amount on attack, although I will op. I think the main time you should op on attack is if you have an excess amount of money to use, excess amount of credits, because then you're not really losing anything. You're just using the excess amount that you have, and then you can do this stuff, and it gives you a big advantage in pick potential, stuff like that.
How would you warm up with the op? Like, would you just stop and see practice the op? Or...
What's your sensitivity before you say that?
0.458.
800?
Yeah, 800 DPI.
And is this one right here?
That's one.
Okay, do you feel like you hit most of your op shots?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't really need to change that, but yeah, I mean, also use the Marshal, because the Marshal is, for all intents and purposes, it's an op, except it doesn't one-shot them in the chest, so you need to go for headshots. So if you can land headshots with the Marshal consistently, then obviously your op aim is going to be even better, because you don't need to hit them in the head if you're opping. So just practice op, maybe deathmatch with the Marshal. I mean, practice Marshal, deathmatch with Marshal. You can practice Marshal in the practice range. Like I said, you should download AimLab, it's free, 10 minutes. Grid shot will goat your aim out to hell, like literally you'll be really, really good at aiming in a short amount of time if you do like just 10 minutes a day or something before you play. And yeah, that's pretty much how I would do it. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here. This is a shorter session, but I hope this was helpful for these two maps for you.
Yeah, it's actually really nice.
Okay,
And
sick.
then, how do you do like the thing where you forgot what you call it, like Jett's passive ability above those boxes?
Above here? Oh, over here.
Here.
Okay, so you're asking how to get up here without updrafting?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, you start here. You can do this at the beginning of the round. You're just gonna jump and then you're gonna float over to there. And right before you land, you can hold crouch because you're basically making yourself smaller and you'll just end up on top of it. So you take a running jump and then crouch. And this jump is very easy. You just jump and you can crouch as well. It makes it easier. Then again, jump, crouch onto this. And it's quite easy. You can also use martial up here. So, but yeah, just
Oh, okay.
practice this in the rain or in a custom game yourself. You'll get a feel for it in probably like 5 or 10 attempts. It's not that hard. I don't know if you can do it without crouching, but I would just crouch because it's just easy.
I've never done that. I need to try that out.
Yeah, it's actually really satisfying to do. So, yeah, and it saves you an updraft, which, I mean, saving you an updraft isn't like, the best thing in the world, but I mean, it's 150 credits and you might use a second updraft whenever you're dashing or using knives or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, man, if you want to do some more maps in the future, I'm down. Just if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Discord anytime. I hope you get Plat soon, because I think you have potential.
Alright, thanks. My bad. I didn't really. I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. I think it's just because I don't really play this game that much because I kind of got burnt out of it, and then now I'm getting back into it.
That's exactly. I feel like a lot of people do that in Valorant. I get burnt out, not super easily, but like I know for a fact that if I play this game long enough, I always end up getting burnt out and I just don't want to play it anymore. But then I always end up coming back. It's always been like that with this game and like other FPS games on PC. So, but I mean, yeah, it's okay to not know what's wrong because naturally, if you put effort into something, you're gonna get better at it. So even just these tips for these maps should help you. And if you can apply them to other maps, great. If not, that's fine as well. Just try to keep your head up. Aim practicing is probably one of the best things you can do if you're gold. I I mean, obviously didn't see how good. I mean, some gold players have really good aim, so I don't know if that's actually a problem for you. But either way, practicing your aim.
But it's just my tracking is what makes it really bad.
Tracking.
Yeah.
So on AimLab, there's a mode that helps you with tracking specifically. There's actually a bunch of them, but crosshair placement, yeah, is once you get a feel for it, it's not that hard. So I I believe you with that. Tracking. I'm naturally very good with tracking just because I came from a game called Overwatch, and I played a character called Zarya, and a lot of what she's good at requires tracking. So I'm fortunate for that at least.
Okay. Alright, thanks.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Just hit me up anytime you need, and have a good night.
Alright, see ya.
See ya.